Look, we spoke earlier about the numbers. The numbers are numbers at this agency, and certainly I have never seen in my 24-year career. They're off the charts. I think the environment has become very volatile, and that's just across the board.
That was Secret Service Director Sean Curran warning about the threats against President Trump. According to the Secret Service, the threat environment is up 40% since January. And since 2024, there have been 6 total attempts or plots against the president, including the shooting in Butler, Pennsylvania, West Palm Beach, that plot, the America 250 plot, and of course, the first White House Correspondents' dinner 3 months ago, all conducted or planned by left-wing radicals. Retired Special Agent in charge for the Joint Terrorism Task Force, Frank Loveridge, and former Secret Service agent Ken Valentine, who served 24 years protecting 3 U.S. presidents, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and Barack Obama, are with us. Gentlemen, great to have you. Ken, I'm wondering if you have any concerns about security tonight at this event at another D.C. hotel.
Well, I wouldn't say concerns. I want to see this go well. I suspect it will go well. And what we don't want to see is a repeat of what happened at the Washington Hinckley Hilton, because that first line of defense, that first ring, that outer perimeter is where you want that object to stop. That's where we want to have that battle. We know that bad actors come, they're gonna try, they're gonna make attempts, but we want to stop it there. We don't want to see people running through the perimeter, shooting shotguns and at a full sprint. So I suspect what you're going to see tonight is a lot of extra personnel doing it correctly, and that's going to be a hardened perimeter. I think you're going to see streets shut down in a very large perimeter around the Waldorf Astoria. So I suspect it's going to be it's going to be done right.
Our White House correspondent is standing outside the building right now, and he just told us it's the largest shutdown that he's seen in D.C. outside of something happening at the White House itself. Frank, let me widen this out. Do you have any concerns about keeping this president safe for the next 2.5 years that he's in the White House, and then after that as well?
So we always have concerns. Obviously, we have to bring our A game every day. We have to win every day. And the opposition force only has to win once. But what I'm going to say is I do see some great strides moving forward. Look what we just did. We just had the FIFA World Cup tournaments in our country. There was all national special security events. We got through that. We had America 250. We had the trip to NATO over in Turkey with a little glitch on the Air Force One. We fixed that. And then coming back here, we brought President Trump to the Madison Square Garden to watch his beloved Knicks. So they're doing a great job. But you know what? We can always get better. We had some problems back there in April, and I think we've been talking about that. One is the perimeter. Ken just brought that up. But we had a vulnerable perimeter. There's no doubt. There's no way someone should be able to get that close and come at us from an area to breach us without us knowing that there's an avenue of approach that he could have came from. And that's what happened that night. And then you have insider threat. You look at these. This guy was a guest at the hotel. He was able to circumvent all the security, come down the central staircase, and then charge out at us with a rifle, a handgun, and knives. So there's a lot of things we need to do. We need to learn from these events and get better. Do I have concerns? Of course I have concerns, but we just have to make sure we bring our A game every day.
Ken, you protected 3 presidents, Clinton, Bush, Obama. What is unique about that job besides the obvious, and what do you see might be the challenges of protecting somebody like Donald Trump?
Well, every president brings their own unique personality to the office and then unique challenges depending on their schedule and their habits and the things that they like to do. We try to keep them altering that schedule and changing things up so that we don't get in a rut. But what the Secret Service is doing is trying to find that appropriate tension. And I think in the past, we err on the side of trying not to inconvenience the most amount of people. And so we do these surgical security details where we're trying not to disrupt the hotel, where, someone's booked the Waldorf Astoria in Washington for their anniversary. And the last thing you want to do is find out that, well, the president decided to have an event there, so our plans are canceled. No, we don't do that. And so the appropriate tension has gone up, 40% increase since January. That tells me that the tension level is higher. That means that more people are squawking and talking about doing harm to our president, and certainly they're being egged on by some voices in social media and otherwise that want to see harm to come. And I think it's emboldening certain people, some of the wrong people. And so that tension level is up.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be represented by an uptick in the number of personnel that we utilize to secure these events. But the bread and butter of what we do, dating back to when Frank and I did it, it's the same. You create a perimeter, you harden it up, and you don't let anyone penetrate that. And
Okay.
So I suspect you're going to see a robust perimeter tonight, as we've already had witnesses testify to, and I think they're going to do a good job of keeping that clean.
Frank Loveridge, Ken Valentine, appreciate you being here tonight. Thanks so much for your expertise. Love to have you back when it's appropriate. Thank you.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.